Attention! This video may corrupt your faith. Here, Jesus is not the sanitized hero of pulpits. He is put against the wall, king or deceiver. If he doesn't meet your expectations, do you still follow him? Or do you hand him over? This story is not about Judas. It's about how far you would go when God doesn't do what you want.
If Judas believed that Jesus was deceiving the people, then the greatest traitor in the Bible may not have been a villain. He may have been someone intelligent enough to miss his own mistake. Now, before you reject this idea, let's understand this together, because the end of this story is not obvious, and I promise you, it will surprise you. If this thought makes you uncomfortable, that discomfort is exactly the point. Judas was not a stranger. He was not an infiltrator. He was not a simple man driven only by greed. He walked with Jesus, slept near him, heard every word, witnessed every miracle, and even so, he reached the most radical conclusion of all. Perhaps Judas never saw himself as a traitor. Perhaps he believed he was the only one willing to do what had to be done. Around the years 27, 28, maybe 30 AD, Judea lived under the absolute rule of Rome. Soldiers in the streets, crushing taxes, public crucifixions as warnings. The idea of the Messiah was not spiritual, it was political, concrete, urgent. The expected Messiah did not preach meekness. He drove out invaders, restored Israel. He ruled, and then Jesus appeared. Too intelligent to be just a carpenter, too sharp to be merely a preacher, too capable not to know exactly. While the other disciples followed him through faith and emotion, Judas observed. He understood power. He understood influence. He understood money not as greed, but as control. It is no coincidence that he managed the group's finances. Judas was the most rational among them. He was not a caricatured villain. He was practical, logical, strategic. To Judas, Jesus did not look like a mystic lost in abstract ideas. He looked like a leader fully aware of the impact he caused, yet reluctant to act. Jesus gathered crowds but did not organize them. He confronted leaders but did not seize power. He entered Jerusalem like a king and left it like a criminal. The stage was set. The people were ready. The system was under pressure. But Jesus did not act, and that is where everything collapsed. Because Jesus did not fail, he chose, and that choice destroyed Judas from within. The 30 pieces of silver were never the center of the story. They cannot explain the collapse that followed. Judas returned the money. Judas fell into despair. Judas could not live in a world where Jesus was not who he imagined him to be. Perhaps Judas believed in Jesus more than anyone else, but in the wrong version of him. He tried to control the Messiah and discovered too late that God does not bow to the human mind. Jesus remained king, just not in the way Judas wanted, and that is why this story still unsettles us today. In the end, the Roman Empire fell. Jerusalem was destroyed. Human kingdoms passed away. Jesus remained. The king never stopped being king, just not in the way Judas wanted. And perhaps that is why this story still unsettles us today, because the ending surprises and reveals more about us than about Judas. How many times do we follow God expecting him to serve our plans? How often do we call deception what is really our own disappointment? Judas tried to control the Messiah and discovered too late that God does not bow to the human mind. The king remained sovereign. The traitor remained the traitor. And the final question is not whether Judas was wrong, but whether, with the same expectations, we would have done any differently.